Good morning. Hello, my goddesses. So, how are you guys? I wanted to pop on here because yesterday was a pretty significant day, especially in terms of what's happening in the cosmos, right? And how that, is a mirror or a reflection of what's happening inside of us. As we are stars as well, right? And our dance with the other stars. That's why one of the reasons that I really like my name that I've been using for this group, Star Disco, and my approach to working with light, and cosmic energy, the stars, is because it is this giant dance party, right? And I always have like this vision of just like going up, going up, going up. Like, I don't know if you guys or any of you guys are from South Florida, but there's this club in South Beach. And right now, like, somebody, jeez. And the club, what it does is it has all of these different levels, and as I think every hour you go up to the next level and you go up to the next until you get to the rooftop, right? And it's like, it's a rave, it's like a big dance. And right now I'm like, what is the name of it? It's so funny. Space. That's what it's called. It's called Space. And so that's like the theme, right? And so I always think about, our lives that way, right? That we're elevating, ascending, but it's all with other people, right? And people are doing it at their own levels, right? But it's just like, because we're constantly evolving and expanding, right? And we're doing this dance, right? And I guess, like, yeah, that's just the way that I think about my life, as this giant dance party. And so coming back to what I wanted to pop on and share about was yesterday was really significant because Venus, our goddess, our heart, was squaring Saturn as well as the nodes. So what that means is there it's a checkpoint. It's totally a checkpoint, meaning there's this place that you come to and you're looking at what has happened in the past, the relationships that you've had in the past, your way of relating to other people, what you value, and coming to some sort of decision, some sort of clarity, some sort of either recommitment. Saturn, is a planet of maturation and of seriousness and of groundedness and integrity. And so all of these themes, right, were up yesterday. And as, Venus continues in her dance forward, she's passing that relationship angle with Saturn, but the nodes is also about the past, right? It's our path of evolution. So in this point, like, now deciding, okay, well, what am I going to do moving forward? What sort of things do I need to breaking with the past, right? And it was just really interesting for me because I had a lot of different people pop into my sphere yesterday, and it was like, how, and my kids are back in school, right? So I'm going to use this analogy for those of you that have kids or even remember when you were back in school and you had homework, right? And so when you have homework is like you have a lesson, right? And then you have all of these different you repeat that lesson over and over again in all of these different ways to make sure that you're really getting it. Like, you're getting the core theme and message, and it may present in different ways, but it's using the same technique or lesson, right, in order to solve the problem. So that's what happened yesterday, right? Is I had 5 different, I think, different scenarios with people, that none of which were like, I wasn't going out and making that connection. Like, these actually literally came to me, right? And so, right, because it's what I'm attracting, because that's where I'm vibrating at energetically. And it was all the same pattern, but expressed in slightly different ways, right? And what was really, really cool was, and it was on the spectrum that I saw it, meaning there was one example of a relationship that it was the most highest expression of that. It was the actual purest energy. It wasn't about like the personalities, right? And people's emotional drama, my emotional drama, their emotional drama, or whatever, right? That gets, because energy, life, the planets, they're just notes, right? It's all just frequencies, right? When they're pure, it's this beautiful sound, right? It's the note is ringing true, and you get this beautiful harmonic, right? When we're not, clear, when we're not in our purest alignment, then you get these wonky kind of like sort of experiences. And so, it was really cool in that one of them, the dance and the harmonic was just gorgeous. And it's funny because the one that this was, he's also is a guy, one of my sound engineers that I've collaborated and produced music with, right? So I think that was also very part of the picture for me, right? In where I'm at with that, right? And my journey with that, and the type of person that he is, and the type of person that I'm at right now, right? So it was just like this incredible, beautiful experience. And then there I had some other ones, right? And so there was like older versions of me, right? Less in tune versions of me would have totally gotten sucked into the drama of what was happening, right? And what was really cool was that I was aware of it, right? Because I've been doing my work. I've been going deep. I've been doing I've been really into this. And this whole thing about, the Mermaid Mastermind and being a mermaid, and, that's all about, it's diving deep, really going into the deep waters of the subconscious, going deep into the past, into our memories, into the feminine, right? And exploring and seeing what's in there. Who am I? What have I buried? What am I carrying? What riches are here? What wisdom do I have? And getting down there with myself as the light, right? And exploring those places. And so in doing that, I was able to hold my frequency, right? And not get sucked into the drama of what, Saturn and Venus sometimes can do, right? Because Saturn also has a lot to do with boundaries, borders, boundaries, integrity, right? And Venus is values and what we love, and harmony and beauty. So if those things are issues that you're working on, right? Like, first of all, you're not clearly able to hold that. You're not able to communicate, because Venus in Libra is going to communicate and speak her truth, right? And ask questions. And so in some of the other roles, like for me, what I ended up doing was just, I didn't need to respond, right? Like energetically, that wasn't appropriate, right? And so for me to get clear with first, all right, like what is happening here? Is there anything here that I need to clean up within myself before I respond? Like I'm coming to the table and I'm responding in my authority, in my integrity, in my highest, as opposed to coming, and bringing my junk back to somebody who's kind of bringing their junk to me. And Pluto is also there too, kind of in that mix, right? So it's bringing up, power struggles, the junk, Pluto, right, in its expression, highest expression is just power, right? It's power, and it is the evolution, right? The expansion, orgasmic desire, energy, just, right? Like transmutation, alchemy, right? In the lower expression, it's manipulation, obsession, blaming, domination, jealousy, shady characters, meaning the shadow. It's it's people that maybe they're doing consciously or unconsciously. Most of the time it really is unconscious, that are trying to get something, because it can relate to Scorpio. They're trying to get something that they think they didn't get, right? Like that they think that they're owed, right? And so in that desperation, when they've forgotten their wealth and their power, they try to get it outside. So that's kind of what had happened, is there were some shady characters that showed up that were like, trying to manipulate, right? And so, or people operating out of the lie of fear, right? And just in an attempt to evolve, right? Like sometimes when, evolution, there's two different ways that evolution happens. Evolution will happen the Darwinian kind of like very slow progression, over thousands and millions of years, right? Which is pretty, it's not creating crazy like disrupts, right? But then there's also catastrophe, and creating catastrophe and chaos for the sake of evolution, because you can't do it any other way, right? So this is what was happening yesterday, right? And there's a beautiful bee that just landed on my window. I love the goddess. She shows up for us. So, and this is important because we're getting close to this place with Venus in her cycle, where she's going to be breaking this new ground, right? In her ascension up. This is part of the structure that I've created, my mastermind, Goddess on Top. The Venus star cycle, and Venus very soon will be making her first appearance. Right now, she's still in the underworld, meaning we cannot see her in the sky. We're in this metamorphosis stage, right, of as our lives pertain to harmony and beauty and the things that we love, and sexuality, sensuality, relationships, money, self-worth, the juice, the yummy good stuff that makes life worth living, right? So pretty soon Venus, right, will be visible in the evening sky, and then she will start that cycle, right, of going up, every month, right? And claiming a different piece of her royal regalia, you know, the fruits of the spirit, and the different pieces, you know, of a sacred adornment that the goddess wears, right, to emulate and to show, you know, like in a physical manifestation form of those attributes, right, that the goddess has. So very soon we're going to be moving into the root chakra, right? And so this was an important checkpoint prior to that, right? Is like, look, you know what's going on? You know, if you don't resolve and look back and do the deeper work, you know, a checkpoint is a checkpoint, meaning you don't get to go through the gates. There's a guardian at the gate for the reason, because if you know, go into this new territory and you're not ready, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get wounded. You're not ready. Limitations, restriction, blocks are an expression of love. They're there to protect us. It's kind of like a mama that, you know, you don't put a little 5-year-old out, you know, in the middle of, you know, the ocean that can't swim, or whatever age, you know what I mean? Because they'll drown. You know, we could use any sort of metaphor that you want, but it's that sort of thing. It's like, no, like, we got to give her some lessons first. Teach her how to swim. And then once she's shown that, wow, she can actually tread water here, we can take her out into the deep, wide ocean, right? So that's what yesterday was. So I wanted to share that with you and just share my experience, you know, with you, and kind of just check in to see where you guys are at. You know, I've been posting some things about what I've been experiencing. I posted something about marriage, right? Because that has to do with Venus and definitely Saturn, and the 7-year cycles of Saturn, and you know, commitment, what we're committing to, right? When we commit to something, there's things that we say yes to and things that we say no to. Choices and decisions, right? And so just kind of, checking in with you guys, what's going on with y'all. What do you guys need? Do you guys have any questions? Okay. Wishing you guys a great Thursday, great weekend coming up. Send you guys love. Mwah. Bye.